We
Good to
got
see you.
Amit Nema, and he's the CEO and founder of Uptick. And yeah, really happy to have you here. And I'll let you have the floor for the next 10 minutes here. So.
All right, John. Thank you so much, and thanks a lot for inviting me to the conference. So, guys, I'm going to start with just the impact of social sentiment on overall crypto market. So early on, when we started building this platform, we realized that uh, Twitter and Reddit and also the news outlets, they were playing a critical role in how the crypto industry was getting structured. The activity on Twitter made a lot of impact on like price difference on various crypto, and people like companies that had a solid backing of community on these platforms, they did pretty well versus some that were not able to get any traction on the community, right? So what we basically do is we basically aggregate the data from Twitter and Reddit, and basically parse that data to churn out the sentiment. So let me just share my screen. I don't have a Figma design or a presentation. I can actually show the platform itself. And which will be useful to most people who actually are active in the crypto space, right? So I'm going to just share my screen. I hope you guys can see it. So this is our platform. You can go to uptick.co. And basically what you see over here is basically sentiment from three major sources. So what we do is basically we aggregate data from around 30,000 news outlets, and obviously like the crypto specific feeds from like Twitter and Reddit, and we parse that data so that users who want to gauge what's happening on Twitter, they don't have to go on Twitter and do like search for like hashtag ETH or hashtag Ethereum or anything of that sort. They can just come to Uptick, and then they actually can see what's happening on the market in general, right? So if you go to our Twitter feed, you can actually see just the sentiment over here, if it's bullish or bearish or very bullish, and the same thing for Reddit, right? And we basically, and these are our machine learning models that actually are churning out these sentiments over here. There is no manual work. Like literally, these models have been trained for years worth of data. And you can actually see over here that how the sentiment actually panned for like Luna right now, right? So the news sentiment for Luna is still positive, but the Twitter sentiment and the Reddit sentiment is still bearish, right? There is a lot of concern around Luna, as we all know it. And talking about Luna, one incident that happened during the crash was that the Reddit sentiment actually dipped significantly on Reddit, and we actually issued alerts to the user base that, hey, you know what, the Reddit sentiment has changed for Luna, and it actually went from bullish to very bearish, right? So it's actually very important for users to actually keep a track of the social sentiment in general, because the price action in crypto is driven by just the community. I mean, if you think about like top BTC or ETH and XRP and stuff like that, there is a possibility that they might not be severely impacted by the community sentiment, but for coins maybe that are like after like top 5 market cap, they have a significant impact. I mean, Luna was basically a pretty strong case, right? So the best part about the platform is like you can actually read news about various different currencies. This is what our algorithm does. So the magic is that we take all this data, we parse it per currency, right? So let me show you what the data for XRP looks like, right? So over here you would see that everything is actually XRP relevant, and over here the Twitter and the Reddit, and then again this is an aggregation of the sentiment for Ripple on Twitter and Reddit. So this is like an overall information on Twitter and Reddit and just new sentiment in general per currency. If you want to select any other currency, you can do that as well over here. The entire feed actually changes for that. So besides the social sentiment, I want to cover a couple of things that are like super handy for users in general, right? So if you go to our dashboard, you can find very, very tangible information on the platform, where what we've done is basically, so let me take a step back. So our motivation is to simplify crypto investments for all levels of traders, right? So even if you are like a seasoned trader, or even if you're a beginner, what we want to do is we want to actually give you the tools and all the information in the most sophisticated way that you can make your own trading decision rather than relying on somebody else's advice, right? So here, on the top, you will actually see the top 10 currencies and what the 24-hour signal is, right? So over here, these trading signals are calculated based on over 200 technical indicators, social media sentiment, blockchain, like on-chain data, and our machine learning models based on historical data churn this sentiment out for the next 24 hours, right? So if you come over here, you can like very quickly glance like what the trading signals are and the currencies that are, that have a buy signal and that are reversing, up. And you can do the same thing for like gainers and losers over here. So as you will see, DOT has a buy signal and it is one of the top gainers right now. And you can find like trading opportunities on your own. You don't have to rely on anybody's advice, right? And that's what our primary motivation is, that we want to resolve the issue of like the information asymmetry that has existed in like traditional financial market for centuries, I would say. Like people with lot of information, they always have an edge versus people who don't, right? So what we want to do is we want to provide this information like to all categories of users, right? And make it super intuitive for users to navigate the crypto market, which is super complex, right? So if you want to go for like relative volume, you can see that are actually like currencies that are trading above volume, right? Moving average. So this is the part that I really love the most. So here, what this chart is actually telling you is that right now only TRX is the one that's actually trading above its 50-day moving average, right? Everything else is actually trading below, right? So Solana, like people who actually have this trading strategy for like mean reversions and stuff like that, they would be like, oh, there is a good chance that Solana comes back to its moving average, right? So even if you're not a person who like charts, like who does like technical charting and stuff like that, you can just in a few clicks find really good trading opportunities for the entire market, right? The same thing for EMA. People swear by EMA 1626 RSI, and this is the social sentiment over here. So right now, if you see, the social sentiment is overall pretty bullish. And this is an aggregate sentiment for these currencies. And you can actually see that, okay, you know what, like the strongest sentiment right now is for OKB, or, and the poorest of, like in this population is for like Stellar and Doge, right? So there are a bunch of, utilities that are available on the platform. This is, just our market visualization tool. Then there's like standard heat map. You can actually just go from like trading signals to market cap and go from like various market cap categories. If you're someone who just trades like lower market cap points, right, you can actually just come over here and see trading signals or price changes and stuff like that. So just a few clicks and you can actually just scan the market very easily. You don't have to open like 50 tabs on your window and basically get to the trade that you want, right? I know we might be running out of time, but there are other aspects of the platform like the screener and stuff like that. So for example, if you want to scan the market for hourly changes and put in filters like 50 plus minus like 10% above, so you would see that KuCoin is the only one that's above like 10% above their SMA 50 and stuff like that. So you can actually build your own trading strategies. You don't have to rely on anyone. And this is the last tool that I want to show you. It's just the alerts. So a lot of people talk about like potential breakouts, like moving average crossovers or sentiment changes, anything of that sort. So you can actually come in over here and you just say that the filter for top 20 crypto, and you can see that. So for example, let's see for Solana, there is something that must have happened that the coin mentioned spiked in news. And this is so going back to what we started with, just the social sentiment. It is important to pay attention to what's happening in the market, right? So if there is a sudden spike in sentiment of Solana, you might want to pay attention. Like, oh, there is something going on. Maybe they're going for an upgrade, or something. Maybe there is an upcoming event and stuff like that, right? So that's going on. So you can actually come in, check for various things just from this one particular screen, right? And yeah, I would say just take a look at this, and you can reach out to us. The email address is contact at uptick.co. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. We are based in New York, so happy to meet with some folks, or whatnot. But yeah, this is all I had. June, I don't know if you had any questions, if you want me to cover anything in general.
No problem. Hey, no, thanks so much for the presentation. Yeah, it was clear. So, yeah, we're kind of running late on time, so we'll
Okay.
get Tarek in. So, Amit, yeah, really great to see you. I'll see you out in the crypto world, and feel free to leave your information in the chat
Sure.
window. So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.